morning. Thank you all for coming this morning. We really appreciate you joining us. Thank you for joining us for this special occasion, the 2024-2025 Mu Alpha Theta Induction Ceremony. My name is Stacy Flamini, and I'm a math teacher here at Washington Township High School, and I am the new advisor of Mu Alpha Theta. Very excited for this year and hoping for some exciting things to come. I'm honored to be your host today. I want to start by thanking Mrs. Krasminski, our secondary education math supervisor. I would also like to thank our central administration, Dr. Hibbs and Dr. Nathan, the high school administration, Mr. Anderson, Mr. Savarese, Mrs. Costello, Mr. Saya, Mr. Basante, and Dr. Muselli, the Mu Alpha Theta Executive Board, our current members, and our inductees for joining us today. And lastly, but certainly not least, I would also like to thank the parents and guardians who have joined us this morning. The support and success of this group of students is a tribute to all of you. I will now take the time to introduce this year's executive board members. Our president is Faz Syed. Our vice president, Faith Rosano. Our tutoring committee, Francesca Pavone, Riley Z, and Sebastian Major. Our fundraising committee, Christian Schiavone, Emma Rose Phillips, and Gina Clancy. Competition committee, Aaliyah Liberati, Lena Nassan Aga, Christian Cruz, and Olivia Brabell. Inductees, you are being presented for initiation into Mu Alpha Theta, the National High School and 2-year College Mathematics Honor Society. It is an honor to be selected for membership in this organization, which has over 2,100 chapters across the United States and in many foreign countries. We are here today to celebrate the achievements of our talented students in the field of mathematics. Each of you have met the requirements for membership. The principal purpose of Mu Alpha Theta is to stimulate deeper interest in mathematics. Thus, it is desirable that we would give you some brief information that may encourage you to consider the deeper meaning and historical significance of mathematics from our executive board members. First, please let me help me welcome our Mu Alpha Theta president, Faz Syed, to speak to you on the history of mathematics.
I speak of the oldest history of mathematics. The arithmetic, trigonometry, number theory, and astronomy of the Babylonians and Egyptians was far-reaching and contributed to much true progress in the ancient world. From calculating the circumference of the earth to building the pyramids, man began to apply mathematics. It took many years for the concept of the number zero to develop, but it made possible the algorithms for addition and multiplication, which became important tools in human progress. Greek geometry involved a new emphasis on the power of reason and served as a foundation for philosophy. Archimedes found ways to determine areas and volumes and used mathematics to engineer machines. Next came the age of exploration and enlightenment. Now please, let me help you to our Vice President, Faith Rosano.
With the study of algebra and equations, logarithms and probability, humans found a new language so they could understand the world around them as never before. With one overpowering stroke of genius, a young man in his early 20s, Sir Isaac Newton, invented calculus, discovered the law of gravity and the 3 laws of motion, and determined how mathematics could predict the very orbits of the planets. With this mathematics, mankind had the tools needed to discover and explain, and a way to develop the technology that would bring man to a new age of scientific understanding. We learned from the likes of Descartes, Fermat, Leibniz, Riemann, and Fourier. We learned theories from Cauchy, Maxwell, and Hilbert. The names may not all be familiar, but the results have impacted each and every one of us today. Now I introduce you to one of our executive board members, Sebastian Major.
The applications of 20th century higher mathematics have radically changed virtually every aspect of our lives. In the physical and life sciences, new developments have contributed to understanding areas as diverse as mass-energy relationships to population growth. Business and economics have benefited from the new theories in statistics and group analysis. Advances in medical technology and communications abound. Applications of new kinds of mathematics have arisen. Knot theory is being used to explain DNA structure, while topology attempts to understand the shape of our universe. Perhaps the most important development attributed to the higher math is the field of computer science and the development of user-friendly computers with its far-reaching applications to virtually every aspect of our lives. Mathematics has taken a large step from its role in the past decades as an obscure mental exercise of the few into a position of prominence in modern life, making our world both more comfortable and interesting. Now we welcome fellow Exec Board member Christian Shabani.
It is now time to consider the future. The mathematics of the 21st century promises mankind even more. Telecommunications without wires, words and pictures transmitted via algebraic codes. The exploration described by the previous speaker represents only the beginning of our understanding of the mathematical world. Rather than developing at a constant rate, discoveries build one upon the other, each leading to more innovative theories. Our knowledge grows exponentially, and its applications grow wider in scope. In summary, the mathematics of the future relies increasingly upon man's ability to imagine and create, as well as his ability to reason. Mankind awaits new mathematical and scientific theories to complete the work of the great men and women who have come before us. And now I'd like to welcome fellow Executive Board member Christian Cruz to the podium.
Just as mathematical principles and research have helped us understand so much, we anticipate further research and development to allow us greater understanding of the world around us. It is with proud recognition of your skill and interest in mathematics that we welcome you to Mu Alpha Theta. May we someday add your name to the list of great mathematicians who have helped the world advance. Now I'd like to welcome back our advisor, Ms. Fleming.
You have now heard a brief history of mathematics and its gift to all. More is needed of you. You must exchange your ideas freely, and you must continue to grow through all your years. You see before you a replica of the insignia of Mu Alpha Theta. Blue represents truth, as unlimited as the sky. Gold shines as a symbol that mathematics is indeed a valuable treasure. The insignia represents, above all, a high point in the history of the world, an important relationship in mathematics, one that combines the mystery, the challenge, and the beauty of numbers with a simple geometric figure, the right triangle. Let this simple geometric proof of the Pythagorean theorem be a symbol for you and serve as a challenge to encourage your further enjoyment and study of mathematics. We hope you enjoyed the beautiful history of mathematics. We are all excited to watch you continue to shine as our top mathematicians at Washington Township High School. At this time, we would love to welcome our guest speaker to the stage, Mr. Dempsey, to speak on all of our needs.
That's an E for effort, guys. We tried. FTC stands for Fundamental Theorem of Calculus, and I don't know. For me, any of those three-letter acronyms, I like to get a chant going. So, to my classes, if we can get that chant to go viral at Powder Puff, I'll have donuts for everybody the next day. So I'm honored to be here today. Mrs. Flamini told me that Mrs. Beretta wasn't available, so and also Mr. Faust spoke last year. So somewhere down the line they found me and asked me to come and speak this morning. So, but it is a great honor for me to be here this morning, and I'm glad Mrs. Flamini did all the shout outs and thanks, because all I wrote here was thank Mrs. Flamini and thank Mu Alpha Theta, because you have them to blame. I was told they picked me for this, so you have them to thank for this. But I want to start just for a second, just to remind you all to sort of embrace this moment. You know, I would even argue that this might be even a little bit bigger deal than the graduation ceremony that you'll you'll experience as seniors. And the reason I say that is this, I sort of have like an ongoing joke in my classes every time the bathrooms get clogged up and we find out that they're clogged with vape pens. I shrug my shoulders and I go, well, those guys get the same diploma as you guys at the end of the year. But they're not here this morning. This is, you were selected for this group. This is a big deal. You didn't get here by accident, and I see some parents here too. And it's a big deal that you're here this morning, and I don't take that lightly. If you follow college football at all, the University of Oregon has a really good team this year, but they have an even better story. Their coach, Dan Lanning, takes the team at the beginning of the year, or after their summer workouts, and they do this 1.5 mile hike that goes through about a 2,000-foot elevation. So it's legit. It's a pretty rigorous hike. And the reason they do that is in 2022, a couple years ago, one of the starting players died tragically in a hiking accident. He fell. And they do this sort of to remember him. He was an influential player. But when he starts the hike, he says to the team as they go up there, he says, on the way up, remember the people that contributed to getting you here. I want us to do that for a second, take a look around, and just embrace this moment. Look at the people next to you and say, congratulations. You did a good job getting yourself here, and to the parents as well that contributed to that. You're not here by accident. So from here, I want to speak in 3 parts, and I'm gonna steal a lot of ideas. I find for myself when I come up with ideas on my own, they're not very good. They don't work out well. So I try to get advice and ideas from other people. And the 3 things I'm going to talk about today, I actually stole this from the Old Testament and the Bible. And just to oversimplify it, it goes like this. It says, do justly, love mercy, and walk humbly. So I want to talk about those 3 things. Do justly. There's a movie in 1989 by Spike Lee called Do the Right Thing. It's pretty simple. I think a lot of times we know what the right thing to do is. The hard part is doing it in the midst of the places that we find ourselves. So I thought of a quote from one of my favorite movies. This is shout out to my class 7. These guys are always quoting. They're usually quoting like bad comic book movies with Val Kilmer as Batman. But this is from one of my favorites. It comes from Captain America: Winter Soldier. And this is Sharon Carter. She's speaking at her aunt's eulogy. And she's quoting her Aunt Peggy Carter. And she says, I might need my readers for this. I'm no spring chicken up here. Compromise where you can, but where you can't, don't. Even if everyone is telling you that something wrong is right, even if the whole world is telling you to move, it is your duty to plant yourself like a tree, look them in the eye, and say, no, you move. Do the right thing. Do justly. Pretty simple, but something to think about. And last thing I'll say on that, this is just my personal pet peeve, I'll throw it out there. Put the shopping cart away. When I go and put it, I'm trying to get a parking spot and there's a shopping cart just randomly floating around in the parking lot. It's probably none of you. Don't do it, but put it away. Love mercy. Do justly, love mercy, walk humbly. Love mercy. I don't know where I heard this, but it's true for me. I wake up every morning drenched in myself. And there was a football player for the Philadelphia Eagles almost 20-some years ago, Terrell Owens, one of the best wide receivers to play in the NFL. And he had this line where he'd say, I love me some me. I love me some me. And I think if we're honest, we can all probably say the same thing on a daily basis. We love me some me. If I were to take a picture of this room right now and put it up on the screen, I'll bet the first person we all look for in the picture is ourselves. And for me, love mercy sort of looks like this. When I think about my inclination to look for myself first, we all tend to kind of want to climb a social ladder or climb some kind of ladder. And what I've noticed is world changers are people that take a break from climbing the ladder and they reach down and pull other people up. That to me is what it means to love mercy. Look for somebody that you can help out. You guys have a lot of, there's a a lot of crazy levels of talent. As I was sitting there, watching Foz and Faith and those folks come up and share, and I've had the privilege, I'm blown away that this is my job. This is what I get to do. These guys coming in here shouting an FTC chant. This is best. But there's a lot of talent here. There's a lot of ability to help other people, and there are people that need our help. So love mercy. And I know service is certainly a part of this organization, part of our National Honor Society, and there's plenty of opportunities. It's not hard. If you set out at the beginning of your day looking for a chance to help somebody else, the opportunity for sure will be there. So do justly, love mercy, and the last thing I want to share is walk humbly. And I'm going to steal from my 17-year-old daughter. I feel like that's sort of a humble thing that I can do. As a parent, there's parents in the room, to be able to acknowledge that I can learn from my own kids. To get to a place requires some humility, and it's an honor to see my daughter, who's 17. She's in the same situation as a lot of you. She's looking at colleges now. She's finishing high school. She's one of my personal heroes. My daughter Kira, she'll say to me at the beginning of the year, "Dad, do you have any students that remind you of me?" And I do. They're out there. Some of them in this room right now. But she's one of my personal heroes because she does great in school. Her academics are a huge priority to her, but she spends a lot of her time giving herself away, and in particular in a group called Young Lives, where she is helping and ministering to teen moms. It's a group that a lot of times is often overlooked, specifically in the city of Camden. And I got to hear Kira share about a month ago at her Honor Society induction about what that means to her. That the stresses of an A dropping to a B, or not a great test grade, they sort of fall by the wayside. When she hears the problems of some of the teen moms she's helping that aren't sure how they're going to pay for diapers or pay for daycare, how they're going to get a job, and it helps her keep that in perspective. It goes back to loving mercy too, but she's one of my personal heroes because of that. So I want to share what she shared, and she quoted Ralph Waldo Emerson, and it goes like this: "To know even one life has breathed easier because you have lived. This is to have succeeded." That's Ralph Waldo Emerson. And for me, that's what it means to walk humbly, to realize we don't have to have everything figured out. Do justly, love mercy, walk humbly. And I want to finish with one final thought. Part of my morning routine, I get up, I like to read something positive or encouraging. And it just so happens this is what I came across this morning, and I thought it would be a good way to just close out what I'm sharing with you all this morning. But a few weeks ago, one of my training partners at the gym, I was getting ready to compete and going through hard training, and he just said something really simple, but it went a long way to me. He said, "Keep going." Maybe he said, "Keep it up," but keep going. That's what I walked away from. I was like, it was simple, but it meant a lot to me. And I was reading this morning. I'll just share with what I highlighted, and I'll leave you all with those simple 2 words. But it says this: "Never look back. Always go right ahead. Even if you are quaking, go right ahead. No matter how unattractive or how dangerous the road ahead may be, it is better than the road back. The road ahead may be veiled from sight, but you must teach yourself to regard the unknown as friendly." So I leave you with those 2 words. Keep going. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Mr. Dempsey. Those words were heartfelt, and we appreciate you sharing them with us today. Faith and Faz, would you like to come up?
Mr. Dempsey for a fantastic message. We appreciate the time you took to come speak to our new inductees.
Candidates, you have met the requirements for initiation into Mu Alpha Theta, the National High School and Two-Year College Mathematics Honor Society, by consistently challenging yourself with rigorous math courses.
When your name is called, please come up to the stage to receive your certificate. We ask that you hold your applause until all names have been called. Josh Arcamo.
Cole Aquino.
Samantha Beard.
Julia Blanchard.
Avery Breen.
Spencer Cade.
Karen Chow.
Andrea Cardamone.
Josiah Carter.
Gabrielle Chelman.
Jayla Connor.
John D'Antonio.
Annalisa DiCienzio.
Alexis Itana. Alicia Fallon.
Gabriel Ferraro.
Amanda Feynman.
Jeremy Gandel.
Angelina Giannini.
Riley Bramble.
Emily Haynes.
Carter High.
Gia Hennifer.
Riley Holmes.
Cecilia Hoop.
Vincent Hine.
Logan Cowley.
Daniel Lee.
Leonard Lee.
Suzanne Malik.
Maximo Mileta.
Raymond McFall.
Sophia Mears.
Sanaa Mehta.
Giovanna Moro.
Anna Maria Castile.
Hannah Petro.
Thomas Petrowski.
Michael Phillips Jr.
Taylor Joy Santos.
Carly Sciota.
Kiva Singh.
Eleanor Thompson.
Joshua Tull.
Vincent Valentino.
Gavin Velasquez.
Emily Vrain.
And Haley Vitale.
As I look at all of you, I'm confident that each one of you will live up to the high standards of our current and previous members. You've earned this honor by the outstanding achievements you've made in mathematics. Mu Alpha Theta provides many benefits to its members and chapters, including contests, an annual national convention, grants, awards, scholarships, as well as networking and leadership communities. We will encourage you to seek out the benefits of Mu Alpha Theta and make the most of your time as a member in this chapter. As we conclude this ceremony, let us not forget the teachers, mentors, and family members who have supported you on your mathematical journey. Their guidance and encouragement have played an invaluable role in your success. Remember to thank them. Congratulations again, we are so proud of you. At this time, we would love for all of our new inductees to make their way to the front of the stage for a photo. Afterwards, please enjoy light refreshments. Thank you all for coming.